Hey guys, I'm doing a question and answer video. All these questions are from Tumblr and I'm going to try to get to as many as possible. So let's just get straight to it. The first question is, what are your favorite lazy day activities and snacks for days when you know you need rest and self-love? Okay, so lately every day has been a lazy day for me, but I'm really enjoying it because I'm just taking a break from being active and listening to my body because it's a bit cold outside and my body gets all confused because I have seasonal affective disorder. So I've been doing a lot of art. That has been my go-to thing. I'm so into painting at the moment and also playing my ukulele and guitar. That definitely soothes me. As far as eating, I love eating warm foods, like warm mushy foods like soup and oatmeal. Do you still do yoga and how has your practice changed? Yes, I still do yoga and my practice has changed so much. It's less physical. I definitely have not been doing inversions lately and I'd like to get back into that, but I've been practicing yoga as a lifestyle. I've been doing a lot of reading from the Yoga Sutras and just taking it as a lifestyle, but I really would like to get back into the more vigorous physical practice of yoga. I really like this one. It's how to stop feeling guilty for living a less typical lifestyle. I definitely relate with that because my lifestyle isn't very typical. All my friends view me as a hippie, and when I tell people what I want to do in my future, they tell me I'm brave and crazy. But I think that's amazing. I don't think there should be any typical way of living. It's just what you want. If you don't want to have a big house and a steady job and a big family, then that's fine. Like for me, I could live in a car and be with one person I love and be getting by financially, and as long as I'm happy and doing what I'm passionate about, then that's all that matters for me. You can't listen to what society's telling you should do. How tall are you? I am 5 feet tall. What are some skills you think would be beneficial to work on before I start my yoga teacher training? To become a yoga teacher, you don't have to be crazy flexible or crazy strong and know all these impressive inversions. You just have to have a passion for teaching yoga and giving the light of yoga to other people. So I would just have no expectations, just keep practicing and taking your own pace in your own practice, and just be open-minded. Do you have any advice for high schoolers that are trying to balance school, clubs, work, and also health and fitness? First, you have to see what's manageable and what you place most importance on. So if you're going to school right now and you're really passionate about being a student and going to all your clubs and extracurriculums, then that's going to be your main goal. You're going to put that at the top. And then once you get home, just ask yourself, what's important to me right now? If you just keep asking yourself this, then you're going to spend every hour of your day doing something productive. I think it's really important to just become aware of what you're doing and what's important to you. If you're feeling overwhelmed by all the things you have on your plate, all you need to do is take a deep breath and get to what you can. Have you met people on social media who do not particularly have a popular blog? I don't think I place any importance on followers or likes. Those things just don't matter to me when I'm meeting people. It's just about making connections. We all have the same passions and interests, and I'm not going to ask you how many followers you have. To place importance on something so superficial is just silly. What is your go-to breakfast? Right now it's a bit chilly, so I love having oatmeal with bananas and whatever other fruit or nuts I have. But sometimes I like changing it up and having a smoothie, just putting bananas and spinach and maybe blueberries or protein powder. Do you have any advice on maintaining flexibility? When I first had the desire to become flexible, back when I was like 7 years old and I was like, I want to do a split. Being persistent is ultimately going to take you the furthest, and I know that the next day after stretching, like having a nice stretch, you may feel a bit tight, but you should stretch through that and you should massage out your muscles, drink a lot of water, and you'll start to learn the difference between discomfort and pain. A lot of people back off when they're stretching because they feel a bit of discomfort, but when you're stretching you will feel discomfort. It's about pushing past the discomfort and finding your edge, and every day you push that edge just a little further. What are your thoughts on marriage, and do you plan getting married? As a social concept, I don't think marriage is that important, and I don't think you need to label your relationship, but in the world we live in right now, marriage makes your financial life much easier when you're so closely tied with someone. I think I'll get married in the future. What is your sexuality? I don't have a sexuality. I choose to not label my sexual orientation. In my mind, I see no gender, and I feel that if I fall in love, it's going to be for that person's soul and who they are rather than their sexual organs. And of course there is a physical aspect to falling in love with someone, but I believe that their soul overpowers that. I have always been completely open to falling in love with anyone. Similarly, this question is, what are your thoughts on the gender spectrum? Do you identify fully and only with female? Physically, I do see a difference between female and male, but when it comes to the characteristics, it's all blurred lines. I don't believe that there's any female characteristics and male characteristics, so I just see myself as Jen, and I have female sexual organs, and that's fine with me. Do you have advice for people with seasonal depression? So I do have seasonal depression, and I can tell you that every year I've had it, it gets just a bit easier because I'm expecting it, so I can prepare for it. Every year I find new ways to cope. That has been a huge thing for me, and I think the most important way to cope that worked for me is just to pamper myself and practice self-love. Once the sun goes away, I spend a lot of time in my bath and lighting candles. I also have a sun lamp. It mimics the power of the sun, and so I tend to stare in it for 20 minutes a day. I also have a salt lamp, and that filters the air, and if you're breathing more oxygen, because in the winter you don't get it outside as much, so filtering your air so that there's more oxygen is going to increase your mood. I just try to connect with nature as much as I can, which is why I love crystals and stones, and I really do try to get outside as much as I can. I actually love running in the winter. Do you like hot yoga? No, I'm not really a big fan of hot yoga. I'm not really a big fan of getting slimy and sweaty, and I just think that when the room is hot, it gives you a false sense of being warmed up, so I may stretch a little further than I should have. I need to physically warm up and know where my body's at. But hot yoga definitely has its benefits. It's not for everyone, but some people absolutely love it, and I am so happy for them. Do you believe in reincarnation? I should probably make a video on what exactly I believe in, and it's going to be confusing. But I will do it, and you will hear the answer to that question then. Sorry. How did you recover from your depression? So I didn't exactly recover because I get seasonal depression, and for me it's just a biological thing. What I do for myself is just to become aware that I am more than that depressing feeling. When you are depressed, it's hard to identify with any other emotion than depressed. Sometimes it's a sad feeling and sometimes it's a numbing feeling, and when other emotions come into play, it's hard to identify with them. A moment of happiness could be overcome by sadness because you know it's temporary and that you still have this depression. If you do have depression, please allow yourself to be open to all emotions and just know that emotions come like waves. Just live in the present moment and be kind to yourself. How much time do you spend looking at screens? To be quite honest, I don't spend that much time on social media. I'll scroll through, I'll post something, but I'm not constantly on social media. I don't feel the need to look at pretty pictures all the time because there's such a pretty world right in front of me. Social media does become a sort of addiction because now that we have these things that we can just have in our hands all the time, you see no need to look up. Your phone has become your clutch. When there's a silence, when you're alone, you get on your phone. If you walk home from school one day or walk home from your friend's house, you're probably on your phone texting or scrolling because you're alone and you just need that crutch. Challenge yourself to be alone or sit in silence and not touch your phone and just be present of the world that you're in. I promise you will notice more and more things that are happening around you that you wouldn't have seen before. My favorite thing to do when I'm alone is to people watch, and it's funny because most of the time people are looking down at their phone, but when there are people engaging in conversation and in their own little worlds, it's just so relaxing and fun to see the world around you and notice that there are real people and real beauty right in front of you. Not saying that there can't be beauty on social media, because I am in support of the positive aspects of social media, like sharing your life and your beliefs and becoming aware of the things that are going on around the world. I think that's so amazing, but to be totally consumed about it is pointless. You're not really adding value to your life or other people's lives if you're just mindlessly scrolling. I'm going to end the Q&A there. Thank you guys so much for sending in questions and for watching this video, and I'll definitely do more, maybe once a month or even more. You can ask me questions on my Tumblr, which I'll link down below, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!